Well, hello and welcome. This is actually season 4, episode 157. My name is Misheard with Misheard Song Lyrics Podcast. If you're new with us, welcome. If you've been a loyal follower, thank you, thank you. You guys, last week at episode 156, I totally forgot to say we have been doing this for now 3 seasons. Can you believe it? 3 seasons. And today is starting season 4. So thank you again. To commemorate that, I'm going to do it with an REO Speedwagon misheard song lyric, which I haven't done REO Speedwagon until now. All right, so it's from their song Can't Fight This Feeling, obviously. And the misheard song lyric is, even as I wonder, I'm keeping you in sight. You're a candle in the window on a corn dog winter's night. And the original lyrics is, and even as I wonder, I'm keeping you in sight. You're a candle in the window on a cold, dark winter's night. I love the corn dogs. Anyway, thank you again. Going into, again, season 4. I can't believe we've been doing this. We've been doing a podcast every Wednesday drop. And yeah, let's do it. So, of course, for those of you who listened to the last episode, 156, I explained what a power ballad is, and they're my favorite. So essentially, rock ballad, slow, obviously. It's usually about a love song, a love story, or to break up or something. But there's always drums, heavy drums, and then a epic guitar solo in there. So that's your power ballad for those that you don't know. Okay, so Can't Fight This Feeling is a power ballad performed by American rock band REO Speedwagon. And they are from Champaign, Illinois. So those of you listeners in Illinois, whoop, whoop, especially in Champaign, there you go. They're formed back, back in 1967. So what, I'm trying to do the math here, 55 years ago. And during the 1970s, they achieved some actually significant commercial success all the way through the 80s. And they're getting a resurgence as well because the youngins are finding out, who is this REO Speedwagon? And they're awesome. The group's best-selling album back in 1980 called High Fidelity contained 4 U.S. top 40 hits and sold more than, wow, get this, 10 million copies. That was back then when you had to actually walk to the record store, buy an album. At this time, if you can get cassettes too at that time, 1980, yes, cassettes. You couldn't download it. You had to just go physically. So that's about 10 million people physically going to their local record shop, was it Tower Records, wherever you went, and bought an album. That's amazing. Now, over the course of their career, the band has sold more than 40 million records and has charted 13 top 40 hits, including the number ones, Keep On Loving You, and then, of course, the one I'm talking about today is Can't Fight This Feeling. All right. Ooh, I have a tickle in my throat. Okay, so REO Speedwagon's, excuse me, sneezes. Mainstream popularity waned in the late 80s. You know, everything changed, sounds changed. But they, like I said, remain a popular live act. So if you can see them when they come through your town with maybe other 80s acts, see them. I haven't seen them yet, but I want to. Okay, current members today is Neil Dowdy. So from beginning, 1967 to present, so the longest. Second to him is Kevin Cronin, lead vocals, the man with the hair. I'll talk about him in a second. Rhythm guitar, keyboards, he was there from 72 to 73, left for a bit for 3 years, and then came back in 76 and has been with the band since. You also have Bruce Hall. He's bass, backing, and lead vocals, 1977 to present. Dave Amato, lead guitar and backing vocals from 1989 and present. And then Brian Hitt, drums, percussion, 89 and present. So pretty long standing. The one that stayed since the beginning is Neil Dowdy, though. So how did they get their name? Because I never knew this. What is an REO Speedwagon? Well, it's actually named after a Rio. So they don't actually say it REO. It's pronounced, I guess, REO Speedwagon, a 1915 truck that was designed by Ransom Eli Olds, hence the REO. There you go. Dowdy, of course, I just shared earlier, Neil Dowdy, longest member and helped found the band, saw the name written across the blackboard and we walked into history of transportation class on the first day and decided to look for a name. Rather than pronouncing Rio as a single word, as the motor company did, they chose to spell the word out because maybe it makes sense, especially it makes it different. Maybe they won't get in trouble, but especially with Ransom Eli Olds was the one that designed it, by pronouncing each individually as we know it today, REO Speedwagon. So there you go. You learned something new today. Did you also know that there was 3 lead singers throughout this? So during the whole band's lineup, it remained pretty stable, like I shared earlier, but REO Speedwagon switched vocalists 3 times for the first 3 albums. So a guy by the name of Luttrell left the band in early 1972, eventually becoming the vocalist for Starcastle. Don't know that band, but if you do, there you go. It was replaced by what we all know today, lead singer Kevin Cronin, who actually has a strong resemblance to shock jock Howard Stern with his brown curly mane of hair. There you go. Then, when Neil Cronin joined REO Speedwagon shortly after the group recorded its debut album, 71, he recorded 1 album with the band, 1972's REO TWO, but left the band soon after because of missed rehearsals, there's some drama, and creative disagreements. He did a brief solo career, and then he returned back to REO Speedwagon in 1976. His return came after a Greg X. Volz, who turned down the lead vocal position due to his conversion to Christianity. So there you go, three. And Mr. Neil Cronin has been with the band since. The song, let's talk about it. So, Can't Fight This Feeling. No, it's not about corn dogs. And actually, before we go into that, if you're ever in Texas, because I went there several years ago, back in 2018, I went to their big, huge fair. They don't call, like, I guess I call it, or I've learned to call it in the West here in the United States, corn dog. They call it corny dog. Isn't that interesting? It's so interesting. Okay, I digress. Back to the song. So the song first appeared on their 1984 album Wheels A-Turnin'. The single reached #1 in the Billboard Hot 100 chart and helped hold on to that top spot for 3 consecutive weeks from March 9th to March 23rd, 1985. That's a long time to be at #1, not being pushed down. That's pretty impressive. It was the group's second #1 hit on the U.S. charts, the first being 1980's Keep On Loving You, also written by Kevin Cronin, and reached #16 in the UK. Can't Fight This Feeling also appeared on a dozen of many artists' compilation albums, as well as, of course, REO Speedwagon's actual greatest hits albums. They also performed the song at the 1985 Live Aid concert while they were introduced by Chevy Chase. Random, but okay, I did not know that. What I also didn't know is that the song is featured in the 3rd season of both Netflix show Stranger Things and Amazon Prime Video show The Boys. So if you haven't seen either show, watch it. Amazing. So what's the backstory? Why did Kevin Cronin, write this song of Can't Fight This Feeling? There is definitely a story. He said that he wrote the verses years before, and he made a demo of it when he left REO Speedwagon briefly in the mid-70s. Remember, he went on his solo career. Interesting that he didn't do the song by himself. But, things happen. He finished writing the song in Hawaii while supposedly on a break from composing for the Wheels A-Turnin' album. According to REO Speedwagon drummer Alan Gratzer, the song is about a relationship Cronin had, and it took Cronin several years to come up with all the lyrics, okay? Here's what Cronin said. The inspiration for the song was the hurt he felt when he became attracted to a woman who was part of his friend group, okay? Cronin states that this woman was, quote unquote, of course, going out with my friends, so I kept it to myself. Kind of sounds like a Rick Springfield song, Jesse's Girl. There was a group of us who would hang out together, and she was always there. Eventually, she and I were becoming friends, but there was no hanky-panky going on. The more I got to know her, the more I liked her, but I couldn't say anything about it. Perfect song for that, yes. Cronin said that he was only able to finish the song when he couldn't fight the feeling anymore and made the move to kind of go for it. Ooh, I wonder how it happened. He said he knew those verses were something special because of the depth of feeling I felt for them. I couldn't force it. Yeah, when creativity's coming out of you, Cronin, you just gotta let it go. Like his song said, you can't fight the feeling. Ah! All right. Cronin said that when he did express his feelings to the woman, oh, here it goes, they ended up having a great relationship. And although it didn't last, they remained friends. So he did share his love for her, and they did have a relationship. So, okay. So Cronin decided and described the theme of the song as being about the moment in time where it gets too painful to be where you are, and you know you have to change. But change is hard, and you overcome the fear of that change. Okay, this quote cannot be perfect at this time. I mean, let me read this again. He described the theme of the song as being about the moment in time when it gets too painful to be where you are, and you know you have to change, but change is hard and you overcome that fear of change. I'm going through I don't know about you all, but during this crazy pandemic, there's a lot of change going on and concerns. And just reading this quote, I think it's a message from the universe because I've been struggling with things of should I do this or that? And that just answered my question. So hopefully it answered yours. It's listening because there's a reason why it was in this podcast to tell me and tell you to go for it, just like he did with that gal. Okay. So also, did you know that the other REO Speedwagon members referred to Can't Fight This Feeling as that stupid ballad until haha, it became a charting hit. So they hated it. It seems like that's a theme with a lot of these songs that I've done on Misheard Song Lyric. People in the band either hate it or, oh God, it's that song. And that's the one that ends up being the one that is the most popular, most successful, chart topping, and what people love. So sometimes you just gotta hey, listen to it. And if the people want it, you gotta give them what they want. All right, so have you seen the music video? There's actually 2 different music videos for the song. Just like episode 156 with the air supply misheard, there were 2 as well. Both videos have been shown at various times on VH1 Classic, now known as MTV Classic. Did not know that. So there's version 1, videotape, they say, online. The videotape version was produced by MTV for a special on REO Speedwagon and features the band in the studio. It begins with lead singer Kevin Cronin playing the piano, attempting to find the key in which he can best sing the song. Starting off, they say, in G major, he later decides he can sing it better in A, for you music geeks. After Cronin exchanges some laughs with his bandmates, the original track of the song plays with the band members miming their respective parts. It includes with Cronin uttering the line, that warmed the cockles of my cockles. Ah, it's so funny. Version 2 is what you see a lot on the internet. It's film version. This was directed by someone by the name of John Jobson and was considered a more professional one, quote unquote, and makes various references to the life cycles that shows the band sing along song. So if you haven't seen it, let's go see it. I'll have the link to the YouTube music video of this version. It's Kevin Cronin and, of course, REO Speedwagon intermixed singing, performing of the song. But in between it is you see a succession of, I think you're following a young lad, grows up, meets someone, marries, they have their own child, and then you see them age, and then you see the wife gone, so you assume he's a widower. So at least in this version, it sounds like he did tell his lady love his feeling, and it kept going on through until he lost her. So interesting. I got to still find the other version, the studio version, or they call videotape. If you have it, let me know, comment, because it's always interesting that there's always 2 versions, and especially in the last 2 Misheard Song Lyric podcasts that I did, there are 2 versions. Anyway, hopefully you enjoy it. I just want to say at the bottom of my heart, thank you all who supported me with either just following, being a Patreon. So thank you to my Patreon folks. If you don't know what that is, go to patreon.com. Look up Misheard Song Lyrics. You can give us money to help us keep going on. You can do a one-time donation. You can also do a donation $5 a month. That gives you this episode a day early because it drops every Wednesday. So you'll get it latest Tuesday, maybe earlier. Or you'll be our $10 month, which we have some of you. So thank you. You know who you are. Where you get it early by a day or so, but you also get a crazy YouTube video link where you can see all the behind the scenes, the unpolished version, me sneezing, whatever, all in there. So thank you again. Excited to go into season 4 now with our Misheard Song Lyrics. If you have any great suggestions, you can send us your suggestion in any of our facets of social media, which is Facebook, let's say Twitter, Insta, or you can just send me an email. I love that too. I'm old school at misheard. That's MISSHEARD songs. That's with an S at gmail.com. Till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.